Hello, welcome back. I'm so glad you've joined today. Today I'm going to show you about how to use measuring spoons and measuring cups. You might think, why should I know how to use measuring spoons and cups? If you grew up in the kitchen, like I raised my two children, to use measuring spoons and cups, then you would understand sometimes you do need a measuring spoon and cup, and sometimes you don't. Times where you would need a measuring spoon or cup would be when you're making cookies, cake, something that calls for exact measurement, because if it is not the exact measurement, those cookies and cake and other items like that, they won't turn out. They won't taste good, they might not shape well. So it's important to know how to use measuring spoons and cups. Another time we'll talk about multiplying recipes, but today I'm just going to show you the importance of the kind of spoon and cup to buy, because it will determine how good your food turns out. And you want your food to turn out really good, right? I would want your food to turn out well so that people can know, oh hey, that person knows how to bake. Absolutely. My son, when he was in, I'll just say his age, when he was 12, he started making cakes and cookies, and mainly cookies. There was one cookie that he made, and he got permission from the school principal to sell it at school. Well, he did not think about the business end, and so he did not do so well with that. But I think today, if he went back and sold some cookies, he would be able to make some money, because he does quite well with his baking. My daughter, she does her own cooking and baking also, but I don't really have a chance to try either of their food too much, because I live in another country currently and they live in America, in the United States. In the United States, we grew up with what we call standard measure: teaspoon, tablespoon, and cup. We also have volume: ounce, pint, quart, and gallon. We have these measurements because in the home, this makes the most sense. But in food service like restaurants, cafes, bakeries, this is better because you're cooking or baking for a lot of people. So using this would take too much time. But this would be better because you need to work very, very fast. I know this. I have worked in a fast food restaurant twice, 3 times, and I have worked in private kitchens and in public kitchen. And it's a lot of work, and you have to move fast, and you have to meet time deadlines. So if you're a person who takes their time to do things, that's fine for the home. But out in food service, in the food service industry, you cannot be taking your time like that. You need to speed it up a little. In the UK and other parts of the world, they use imperial, is the UK, imperial, or also metric. There might be a difference between the two, but I'm just giving you the basic. Right now, we can find milliliters and grams. I know there are more measurements, but I'm not aware of those because I don't use this kind of measuring. I don't. When we go to use a recipe, I'll try to use some, I'll try to use both, so wherever you live, you can know if it's US or imperial metric. But I'll try to do that, but I cannot promise that for every single recipe. Remember that mill or milli means 1,000. Yes, so those are the basic measurements for recipes. I'm going to show you a recipe right now on this side of the paper for baking powder biscuits. This is a food that is found in the South in America. Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia. Did I say Kentucky? I can't remember. But that part of America, they really like baking powder biscuits, and they serve a gravy, a sauce over this, and it's used for breakfast. It's not sweet. It's not sweet. But baking powder biscuits. And normally you would read your recipe like this: 2C flour, 4 tsp baking powder, half tsp salt, half cup, half C, and then 2/3 C. So all of these you need to learn. You need to learn what the abbreviations are. Even in the imperial and metric, you need to learn what the abbreviations are. So when you see a recipe, you know exactly what measurement spoons and cups to use. This, I have to use my measuring spoons and cups because I want my biscuits to turn out very well. Some people have asked me through the years, why don't you start a restaurant or a cafe? Well, I would love to start a restaurant or a cafe, but that takes a lot of money. So I've opted for the next, videos online, so that I can share the joy I have with cooking with kids and even adults. Because there's nothing better than being able to make your own food, making sure you have the ingredients on hand to make your own food, and the other tools that you need, like the oven, the stove, everything like that, to make sure you have everything on hand to make your own food. In that way you can know how healthy it is. Sure, cookies, they have sugar in them, or maybe honey, but they do have sugar or honey in them, so that may not be healthy. But when it comes to putting chemicals and preservatives, additives, all that sort of stuff, if you're making your own, you don't use those. In the store, a lot of times those items are used, and they're not exactly healthy for your body. Of course, eating cookies every day is not healthy either, so I would not suggest that. But once in a while, it's fun to make cookies. So remember, if you're making cookies, you do need to have a recipe so you can make sure that your cookies turn out well. Now, for the different kinds of measuring spoons, you can have metal, you can have plastic. You can have plastic, okay? It doesn't matter which one you use for your spoons. It does not matter. Now, I do have different kinds. I have metal spoons here. If you'll notice, right there, you can barely see it, but it's pressed into the metal that this is 1 teaspoon. Kind of see that there on the reflection of the light. I can know that with this set of spoons, no matter how old it gets, and this is quite a few years old, no matter how old it gets, I'll always be able to read the spoon because that information will not go away. With plastic, these are quite new. You can tell I've not used them. They're still on the ring. These are nice because they're nice, bright color. I like colors. However, this is printed onto the plastic. And if you look at this spoon, you may see there's a little damage beginning to happen with the print, with the paint. It's beginning to rub off a little because maybe I have begun to use it or get scratched a little. Look at this spoon. Pretty soon, all of this paint will be gone. And then I won't know what it is, except I know this is a tablespoon because it is the largest spoon. Remember that. The largest spoon is the tablespoon. It's the smaller spoons that you have to watch out for to make sure about. Then you can also buy a set of spoons. It's hard to tell, but this plastic here, it's raised. This will not rub off so easily like the paint. It won't rub off easy like the metal. So I can know that if I hold the spoon at the right angle with the light, I can tell what this measurement is. So this is going to last quite a while. I've had this for several years too. So we have spoons. This is all the US standard measure for these spoons. Now, here's a set of spoons my sister sent me. She likes purple. So I know she got herself the same set. Now you'll notice on this one though, it might be the same measure, but this end of the spoon is round and this end of the spoon is oval. This is a thing. Even though this might have a different shape than this one, it's the same amount. If you measured something here and you put it on a little dish, and you measured something here and you put it next to that little pile on that dish, you would know it's the same amount. The reason it's a different amount, it's because when you get some bottles that hold different kinds of stuff like this powdered, this dried herbs, maybe salt, something else, you can know that if you take off the lid and you don't have time to sit here and go like that wastes time. You need to reach in there and use the measuring spoon. Well, you can see the spoon does not go in. However, and you can go like this. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to save time, you want to put it in there and pull out that measurement of herbs so that they can be, so that you can get through your recipe a lot quicker. So those are the standard measuring spoons, US measuring spoons for America. I have some here for metric. Now this one is nice because it's raised, that raised plastic just like this one. So I know that this measurement, it will not go away very soon. It will be there. This color may fade, but this spoon will still be useful. So this starts off with 1 milliliter and it goes up to 100 milliliters. Wow, what a difference, huh? Compared to not the smallest, but one of the smallest measurements in the US standard compared to the largest measurement for the spoons. All right, now we have, so you have these to measure small to large with the metric or imperial measure. Now we do have cups. Those are the same. We do have cups. Again, look to see about your cup. This one, the measurement, it's raised a little so it will not fade. You want nice bright colors, but look, if I did not know my measuring cups, wow, I would be at a loss. If I did not know what these cups were, and this is US standard measure, if I did not know what these were, I'd pick it up and be like, what is it? There's nothing on the back side to show what it is. So you have to learn your measuring cups and spoons. So when you come to that stage, you can easily know, oh, I'm holding 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, or 1 whole cup. See there? Would you know this is 1 whole cup? No, but because they're mine and I've been using them. Now these set that I bought, it's a set of 4. Isn't that pretty? Like I said, I like color. the set of 4. Isn't that nice? Now, the advantage of this is, I'll just show you one. I'll show you the green one, and maybe I'll show you the blue one. The advantage of this is, up close, you can see this says a quarter cup, so that's U.S. standard measure, and then 60 milliliters, which is the metric and imperial measures. So, but once again, this is printed on. So for sure, I would need to have a chart. Now, if you want to know how to change the milliliters to and grams to U.S. standard or the other direction, you can find many examples on Google or online. I should say online, but you can find many examples online where they'll have charts, and you need to go through carefully to see which are you using and which do you need. What is the amount that you're using and what will that amount become? So you need to just look carefully through everything on that chart, maybe even print it off, but look carefully on that chart so you can know if you're converting a recipe from the United States into one in another part of the world or other parts of the world into the United States. There are many, many ways to measure, and I cannot forget there is a difference. I have a glass measuring cup. Now this one, it gives you the standard U.S. measure in red, and it gives, I guess this is red also, this is the metric. See, that says 500 milliliters. This says 2.5 cups. They're at the same height. And here they have, oh, if you were to use this for sugar and flour. But I would like to say something about that. If you have the choice to have plastic or metal and glass, and I understand sometimes you cannot have everything, that's okay. But if you have the opportunity to have both, it is widely known for decades that measuring liquid, you know, whether it's water or honey, milk, oil, as long as liquid, the more accurate measure is a glass measuring cup. And then to use the metal or plastic cups for the dry ingredients. That's the advice that bakers would give to you. But I know some places you may not have the way to have both, and that's okay. In Brazil, my family, I had family in Brazil for a while. They, and I still claim them, they're still my family, but they would use a cup out of the cupboard. They always used that same cup when they made that recipe, or a certain spoon out of the drawer that they might eat soup or something with normally. But when they went to bake or to cook, they knew if they used that certain cup or that certain spoon, that was their measuring cup and spoon. It wasn't official like this, but I can tell you that my in-laws, they're really good cooks in the kitchen. I gained weight. Yes, I did. Anyway, this is the basic information about measuring cups and spoons to know what you need, so when you go to bake, then you're able to do it accurately so your food turns out well. Thank you for joining. Have a great day. Bye-bye.